I don't like adult blondes.
And we'll start there as you're looking at me.
Well, I'm not attracted to women.
You know what's funny is now I'm obviously dating a brunette, but
Yeah.
almost all of my exes are blonde or a variation
I
of
can
blonde.
see that for you.
And I always said, I was like, oh, I don't like blondes. But then I always dated a blonde.
To me, you should be dating like Joe Begley. You know what I mean?
Look like we could be brother and sister.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess Spencer's the dark raven, the dark horse.
Him being called a dark raven is actually quite accurate to his whole persona.
Yeah. I turn into a worse version of myself around Spencer. Right? Every single time Spencer's around, I say, like, even Matt is like, he hates when I'm around Spencer because I start being mean to Matt.
You turn on Matt?
Yeah, because I'm like, I want to make Spencer laugh, and the best way to do that is to like turn on somebody in the group. We all have that one friend that like encourages you to talk shit. Like, I know I can say evil things to Spencer and he'll laugh. And that's what I like.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny because I watch other people bring it out of him. Obviously, it's like we can talk about whatever we want when it's just him and I.
Yeah.
But then I watch what people do, like in what he brings out of people. And that's
he's
very
evil.
interesting.
He has a darkness in him. He's Lucifer reincarnated here on this earth, and his name's Spencer Cavins. Or Cavins. Is it Cavins or Cavins?
Cavins. And you can remember that by every kiss begins with Cavins.
Cavins. I prefer Cavins, and I know he doesn't.
I will say, like, I'll never take a man's last name that's not hyphenated just because of the career that we're in, and I built my own name.
Yeah.
But
you do realize you can take legally his last name and be like a married woman at home and then still use like your name for...
I think I'll go hyphenated, and then when and if we have kids, they'll get his last name.
Okay.
You know?
Do you want to have kids?
Me?
Yeah.
I think I would like to have them one day.
Okay, cool.
I have a lot of nieces and nephews, so I feel very fulfilled with the kids in my life right now. But one day I would like to have kids.
Love it.
I think it'd be a really good mom.
Yeah.
I think it'd be giving back to society by having children.
I don't like whenever people are like, I want to have kids because I can give back to society. I'm like, oh, don't have kids. Society doesn't need you to raise children. I'll promise you that right now. I actually think you probably can do more for society by not having kids. Not you, but just like people in general. Like when people are like, not having kids is selfish, I'm like, I think not having kids is selfish. I'm like, I think having kids is selfish.
Well, it also creates a lot of woe is me, kind of like where people are like, oh, my life is so much harder than yours because I have kids or whatever else too.
Yeah, they talk about this on Guys We Fucked a lot, and Corinne Fisher talks about it a lot, and I would just say it, but it's not my idea, so I have to give it to her because it is hers, and I do listen to everything that she says. But she's like, it's because when you have children, you start like caring more about your children's world than the actual world.
Yeah.
So you're like, everything's about your kids and keeping them safe, and not like necessarily how's life functioning for everybody, you know?
Have you ever watched Game of Thrones?
Yeah, unfortunately, I watched every season last year.
So no, I'm watching it right now.
Oh, I hate it.
I'm on season 6. Everybody's like, it's about to get really bad.
By the way, the whole time people are like, it's about to get really good. I mean, from the beginning, I was like, this is bad.
Really? And you made it through all 8 seasons?
You want to know why?
Bad?
Because I watched House of the Dragon because I prefer a female storyline, and I thought that show was so good that I was like, oh, what if it's like this? I'll watch Game of Thrones. And then I watched Game of Thrones, and I was like, this sucks.
I like it. I like Game of Thrones.
The only Game of Thrones character I liked was Margaret and the
Or Marjorie?
Marjorie, yeah, I liked her, who was supposed to marry like Joffrey or whatever. That's the only character I like.
She's great.
She's my favorite one, and her grandma. I love that.
I love that. And her grandma looks like my grandma, so I actually really resonate with her.
Yeah.
Resonate with her grandma. But what I was gonna say is like Cersei's a great example of what you're talking about, of like her kids are her everything, and to that she is evil to the rest of the world.
Yeah.
You know, and she causes so much like pain and hurt. But if you were to take that on a non-fictional scale, I could see that relating to society. Also, like to your point of like you're more productive to society without children, of like women who wait, it's like I get to fulfill a whole lifetime by waiting to have kids, and I can still have kids and have that part of me checked off. But when you have kids at 19 or whatever age you might want to start, you're missing out on whatever you could contribute to the world through that, you know?
I agree, but then I also kind of think that if you have a baby, and I don't think people should have kids like super young, but I turn into like a turning point thing. I'm like, have more babies than you can afford. Literally don't have kids, get an abortion. But I your body just bounces so much back when you Nikki Glaser used to have a joke. She's like, when you're 16, you can have a baby at 16, you'll be at cheer practice at 3 p.m. She's like,
Yeah.
it's good. She's like, your mom can help you raise it. You know, your mom's there. She's at home. She's vaping, which I love.
Yeah.
But I also think if you have kids really young, then you're like 39 and then they're graduating from high school and you're like, now I get to like live my life and like a real
Yeah.
freedom that I think would feel really good. But you do have to sacrifice your entire 20s and early 30s.
I've also watched this happen with people that I know personally, where they have kids really young, and then they're like a mom really
Yeah.
religiously through that era, and then once their kids get a little bit older, they go through a huge party phase
Oh yeah.
because they just gave away so much of their 20s, the era of time that like I've gotten so much out of my system during, and I'm sure you and a lot of other people,
Yeah.
well, they didn't have that. So then now they're 30 and they're making these like
They didn't
detrimental
do-
life choices, but they're like kind of, it's like not cute anymore.
Yeah.
You know, but it's not that they just didn't get to do it when it was cute. if it was
Yeah.
ever cute.
But there must be like a real freedom being like, and it's done. Like at least if like now we wrestle with like, well, we're in our 30s, like should we have kids? Well, they did it. Now
Yeah.
they do get to have that party phase. And how much more fun is that? They're in their 40s. They're like, I'm Jay chillin'.
Yeah, like look
They're
at
going to concerts.
look at Gilmore Girls. Lorelai goes and opens up her own inn. You know.
I know. Well, Lorelai didn't really have fun. I feel like she really just committed to being a mom. I guess
Yeah.
she like made being a mom fun.
Yeah,
Yeah, I love Gilmore Girls.
I love it. I watched it.
What's your favorite of Rory's boyfriends?
Logan.
Oh yeah, you are a Logan girl. I'm a Jess girl.
I like Jess. I hated Dean.
Nobody likes Dean.
I hated Dean. Jess was just too like messy.
Yeah.
But then Logan, people were really mean to him, and I actually quite liked Logan.
He's really handsome. I really like that actor. He's also the resident, and I think he has a body oddy in that.
Really, I don't think
Yeah.
I've ever seen The Resident.
It's actually really good. The first 2 seasons are really good, and then something weird started happening with like Grey's Anatomy in them, where like every episode, because they were premiering the same weeks, and they would be having very similar plot line and episodes.
Do you think like leaks were happening?
I was like, I'm like, whose camp is leaking to who? Because somebody is saying, like, here are the storylines that we're doing. And I assume, and I love Grey's Anatomy, but it's like, why would the Grey's Anatomy be trying, or why would the Resident be trying to steal from Grey's Anatomy? You know what I mean? It's like the Grey's Anatomy was probably like, what are they doing over there in the Resident?
Yeah, what's the new thing going on?
Yeah, because they had very similar plot points, and I would love to know. And I felt like I was the only person noticing them because I was the only one watching both.
Do you think at a certain point Grey's Anatomy fell off, or do you think that it maintained the whole entire time?
Well, it's still on.
I know, but like, do you think it's like still going to the quality that it once was?
Nothing will be like the first couple of seasons, and that's how everything is. But I think that new things can evolve. What I think is really cool about Grey's Anatomy is that you watch characters actually evolve over years and years and years. And so you're like, wow, yeah, they're not the same. But you're like, yeah, but that also was 20 years ago. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
of course not. We watched her at the beginning of the first day of her internship, and now she is the head resident of the hospital. It's
Yeah.
like, of course, we watched her have 3 kids and her husband die. Yeah, things aren't the same. You know what I mean? But I love Grey's Anatomy because I'll always like kind of check in. I did fall off during the COVID season, but I am going to get back into it.
You've got big plans?
I've got big plans to get back into it because I'm out on the road every single weekend. I'm like, I need TV shows to watch.
Yeah. Yeah, because you've been on the road a lot. And is it like, what do you find yourself doing to pass the time while you're in these like kind of small towns and you're waiting to go up or
It
whatever?
is a lot of small towns, and they don't tell you about that when you're striving to go on the road. You
No.
think when you're about to go on the road, it's gonna be like New York, LA, Chicago, Miami. No, 1, I haven't even been to Miami. 2, it's like Huntsville, Alabama. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It really is. I was just 30 minutes outside of Milwaukee. And so you're just in a suburb on the side of the highway in a hotel room by yourself being like, well, this is the dream.
Yeah. Do you like, do you have any like simple joys to pass the time?
Coffee, finding good coffee shops in the morning.
That's what I was gonna say. I love going to a town and finding their like local coffee shop.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll get a tattoo, depending. If I'm in a mood, I got this tattoo on the road, which is one of my favorite tattoos I have.
That's beautiful.
I got this in Charleston, South Carolina.
The coloring's really good.
It's
too.
really nice, and I just walked in. It was like tattoos, walk-ins, and I walked in. This guy was great. He did this. I work out a lot. I have sex with men.
Yeah.
A lot of having sex with men.
A lot.
Yeah, I would say.
How many people do you think you had sex with last year?
Last year, I don't know. Well, I was on the road a lot last year, but I wasn't.
But that's where you have sex with men.
I don't know. Last year, what are we considering sex?
Anything that goes inside of you.
Even your mouth?
Yeah.
Last year. I feel like I wasn't crazy last year. Maybe like 30 to 50. Is that a lot? Wait, let me think again. You said blowing. I'll tell you this. I think I had penetrative sex maybe twice last year.
So penetrative.
Like my penis in someone's ass maybe twice. But yeah, I would say
Anybody's penis in yours or never?
what? Oh no, I've never bottomed. But
It's also funny to be shocked at that. Like
what? No, but if we're talking about like if we're including sucking cock,
Okay.
25, 30, just to suck a cock. Is that crazy?
It's not.
Well, listen, this is how men are.
It's nothing to shame.
Yeah.
But are you like an energy person? Do you ever feel like that's a lot of energy inside of you?
Yeah. Sometimes they leave and I go like, what am I doing?
Like because you swallow that energy.
No, I don't. I only swallow if they're hot.
Okay, so you swallow half of that energy. Okay, you
Oh my God, a quarter.
A quarter of that energy.
A quarter I'm swallowing. No, I feel like this is so crazy, but I'm like, I really have to feel a good energy to swallow.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Well, it's going inside. It's literally another person going inside of you. Their habits, what they put in their body.
Okay, well, yeah, I guess that's true. That's true. Sometimes it's just a load, though.
Yeah,
sometimes
a load
it's like
filled with
their spirituality's not in there. You know what I mean? Sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. But sometimes you can just kind of taste. You're like, I don't want this guy's load in me. He's bad energy. You're right.
Do you have anything because you just said that a quarter of the people that you hook up with is attractive?
Well, that's not true. But yeah, I'm just joking.
I know, but like, are there any like? What are your standards when it comes to like being with men on the road? Are you going purely look based? They have to be looks and personality. Like, what is something you write off? What is something you look for?
Well, I'm not going on dates, so it's mostly.
But even for the meetup.
Yeah, well, they're just coming to the hotel room.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's really about vibe, I guess. And so they send pictures and then they get there and then that's kind of where you decide whether or not they look like their pictures.
And if they don't, have you ever pushed somebody out?
I said like, I can't do this. Sometimes people will be like, here's what I look like. And they get there and they're 20 years older. And you're kind of like, huh, you do know that in that picture you had brown hair and in front of me, your hair is white. And so but sometimes you just still go through with it because it's really tough to look another human being in the eye and say no.
Mm-hmm.
When you've already said yes. But and if you don't want to do it, you shouldn't. But
No, I mean,
I'm actually a lot better. I don't always do. I'm a lot better about being like no. But in my youth, I probably been like whatever.
I think a lot of women hook up with men or find themselves in a certain position where they end up just going through with it because it's
scary.
Yeah, you don't want to say no to them, or it's hard to say no, or you don't want to hurt their feelings.
I know. I'm always concerned about other people's feelings.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
And do you like to suck, or be sucked?
I go through phases. I feel like last year I was really going through a phase where I was actually just letting guys suck me off and I wasn't really sucking them off, but for a while I was sucking guys off. Now it's more mutual. I'm more interested. I'm actually a lot better. Now I've been better about like I want to hang out with somebody. So I'm off all of the apps now. I've been off them for a couple of months.
Are you seeing anybody?
No. I just had surgery.
Oh, I guess so.
Yeah, so I was like, now that I cut off my chest, I'm like, I'll just wait.
Yeah, so for context.
Oh yeah, I had man boobs that I got when I was 13. They were huge. I've wanted them cut off my entire life. You can't. And before you say, I just work out, you can't work them off. And literally doctors are like, you cannot work this off. You have to get surgery. Mm-hmm. And I said the minute I had money, because I grew up poor, that I would get it done. And so, yeah, I made money and I was like, we're cutting them off. And we're 7 weeks post-op. And
you spent 6 of those weeks at home.
At my mom's house.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't my hometown. It was, my mom lives like 2 hours away from my hometown in Connecticut. And so, but it was still really rural. And so I was just at her house for 6 weeks.
Going back and living in the environment, like just being with your mom and like living in essentially like kind of like a replica of your childhood, but as an adult.
Yeah.
Did you learn anything about yourself? Like anything that like, you're like, ooh, I haven't looked at this or processed this, or this is an old thing that's coming up I haven't seen in a while?
Yeah, I think old dynamics always come up. I mean, definitely we got into some fights, but I mean, it was basically fine. But yeah, there was definitely some stuff that came up, and my sister stayed with us for a couple of days, and that's a whole other thing where you're like, oh my God, we all are under the same roof. This is like making me feel sick. But I also haven't lived with my family since I was like literally 18 years old. Yeah. So it's like, it's been 15 years.
Yeah.
So it's just weird.
Isn't it weird how like life kind of loops around like that? Like
I'm also just like very much a person where I was like, I don't need, like I've been very, I've always like had a job and did my own thing and got my own place almost immediately after high school. And so it's just strange because I've never had to depend on anybody, but I just needed somewhere to go after surgery. And
Yeah.
my mom was great. She really like let me, do whatever I wanted. So that was great. And
Yeah.
I definitely needed her help. I actually think that they downplayed how hard after the surgery was going to be. Like, I actually don't know how people who don't have a support system do the surgery.
Really?
Oh yeah, like I was like, this is tough.
Yeah. Was it tough on you mentally? Going through that
Yeah.
healing process?
I think I was just kind of like the whole time you're just sitting there. You can't do anything. It was like being on house arrest. So it was like everything was coming up. I was like, wow, I've really, because, it's been really fun being on the road for the last year, but it was like a lot of fear as well blowing up on social media because I was like, I became very afraid that everything was going to go away.
Mm-hmm.
And so then I tried to like really try to control it or whatever.
And probably get it as fast as you can.
Yeah, and I was like, and then I was just like freaking out about opportunities and ticket sales, and I was like, isn't this supposed to be fun? Like, it's like the thing I've been wanting my entire life is now happening, and I'm just so stressed out about it.
Mm-hmm.
And so what really came up was I was like, I just want to have fun, and so I was
Yeah.
like, I kind of am letting go of like, I don't really care if the shows are sold out or like, and because I would be like so embarrassed about like, oh my god, the shows aren't all sold out, and I have this big following, and that's so embarrassing. But and it's like, who cares?
Yeah. Also, because you know what, humans in general, just people just we often find ourselves making it personal to us.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, your show isn't sold out. Probably not even because of you. Probably because people have scheduling conflicts or it's a financially scary time right now or
Yeah.
whatever else.
Or like
you
the
know?
algorithm doesn't even show people in the city that you're even there. It's the whole thing.
Yeah.
But you go, God, it's just like, but then, we're friends. We're all friends with different people at different levels in this career.
Mhm.
And so it's very easy to look at your friends who aren't touring and being like, well, they would love to do this. So be grateful. But then it's hard because then you look at some people and you're like, and their entire tour sold out. And you're like, huh.
Mhm.
You're like, how do you do this? But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it really is just anxiety. And if you can't be happy with where you are right now, then
You'll never be happy.
Yeah, the next thing, like once they get sold out in the clubs, I'll just be like, well, I'm not in theaters. And it's like, well, am I going to spend my entire life comparing what I actually want? Or am I just going to enjoy what I have now, which is amazing?
Yeah.
I mean, how many people get to go across the country and do stand-up?
Not many.
Not many. And it's like, and I can.
Well, and to be honest, speaking for myself personally, I've watched my friends, you included, and it's actually kind of made me realize what, not to say I don't want to stand up because I want to be on the road. That's, I want to perform in front of audiences that are mine across the country. I realize also too, through stand up and through watching my friends, like watching you go on, off, on, off. I don't want that. Like, I don't really like to travel.
It's funny. I mean, I never even knew if I like to travel. I'm such a workaholic that any date they offer me, I said yes. And then I was on the road every single weekend for 9 months.
Yeah.
And I was like, by the end of it, I was like, I'm going to kill myself. Like,
yeah, that's really hard.
Yeah, because all of a sudden you're like, because you can afford to, it's also expensive to bring people on the road. I think also something that really has come up for me in the last year is how, because I've listened to comedy podcasts for the last 10 years. And I think that I wasn't aware that like comics weren't being fully truthful about what it was like on the road. Like I'm sure they were in their inner circles, but they weren't on podcasts to people who were listening. So I was listening to all these comics being like, on the road, shows were great. Well, they weren't saying that there was 50 people at their late show. They're just saying the shows were great. Of course, why would you ever complain about that on a podcast? But in my mind, I was like, oh, everybody's selling out. And then you kind of start doing, you're like, well, no, everyone's not selling out. And then you think about like bringing someone on the road with you and you're like, well, now we're out $2 extra $1,000, so it's like, so now it's good. I've been a lot better about it, but what I learned from being at my mom's house and basically being alone during the day for like 12 hours a day was like, I want to have fun. And like, I don't really care if it's not all going to go away. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just being light about it and being like, when I'm home, I want to like see my friends and like, come to a game night like we did last night and like stop like, because I was just like on the road and I'd come home and I'd be like, all right, well now I have to like figure out at my house what I can put out online to make my career go even more wild. And it's like, just hang out with your friends.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, no, totally. Because it's like, also like those experiences with your friends, not only does it kind of give you the dopamine, almost get through the weekend of being alone, is like coming back and having like that like fruitful time with your friends, but also it's like, like it gives you the life experiences that you need to go be relatable to be good at comedy.
Yeah.
you know?
It also fills your cup up where you're like,
Yeah.
oh, I feel great. Like I left your house last night after game night. I was like, I feel great. Although I did take an edible when I got home and I was like, I feel like you were being so annoying, Dylan. And so
No,
I
but
do
you know,
apologize.
no, you were not annoying, but you know, it was really entertaining for me to watch.
What?
So Dylan, we've played games before, and Dylan has the reputation in the group of being like the laissez-faire during game night.
Well, by the way, and I said this last night, whenever there's a really pretty girl at game night who kind of wants to talk shit about everybody, like I'm gonna hang out with her
Yeah.
above playing the fucking stupid card game. You know what I
Uh-huh.
mean? Like I'm down to like be popular and like be mean to people.
Which we've seen from him in the past, but I watched him last night. I watched you lock in
Yeah.
to the second round of Taboo.
Listen,
and-
your boyfriend pulled me aside and said like you're not gonna get invited to game night unless you actually
Really?
months. I mean, maybe even a year ago. I went to a couple game nights and then I was no longer invited for months to your guys' game nights. And I said something and he was like, you don't play. And I was like, okay. And so I was like, lock in. Spencer's very honest where he's like, listen, if I'll ask you to do something, you keep saying no, like you'll never hear from me again.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're right. So now I have to, it's my job to now make the effort.
I watched you lock in.
I know, I locked in.
And you won.
And we did win.
You did win.
Yeah.
Yeah, I lost.
It's okay.
It's okay.
It was a tense game.
It's funny, you can learn the rules to a game. We played Taboo, and you'll be like, yeah, I'm not going to do the hand motions or say the words. And then all of a sudden, it's like you immediately start doing, and you're like, I don't know if I'm mad at the person calling me out or myself or what. I just know this is frustrating.
Yeah, it was awful.
Yeah.
And also you watch your friends turn into animals.
Yeah.
Matt
Oh,
Ross.
Matt Ross.
Matt Ross is an animal.
I
when it comes
watched
to
Matt
it.
Ross lose a game and then immediately project all of his frustrations on Joe Bagley.
Oh, yeah.
And then lose the next round because he was projecting so much
Yeah.
that he couldn't lock back in. And that was fun.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I think time with friends is like just it's very fulfilling.
Yeah, same. And I'm really trying to be better about like doing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What are some things that you like to do? Like, have you gotten any like new hobbies or things that you really?
I actually went to my first Soul Cycle class today.
Yeah, you mentioned that. How was it?
Loved it. I actually had the best time.
Really?
Yeah, because I've been doing a lot of like workouts where it's like it's not CrossFit, but it's like a CrossFit type gym where it's like classes and it's very intense. And honestly, everyone at the gym is like really Christian, and it kind of was invading. Like they were like praying before their workouts, and I was like, I respect everybody, but at the same time, I'm like, please don't pray before the workouts, whatever. But they all do have abs, and you're kind of like, maybe God is helping them.
Yeah.
It's just crazy, but I haven't been able to go because of my surgery, and I can do spin class. And you know what? Sometimes you just want to be with like a really gay guy we did the evolution of Ariana Grande.
In the spin class?
Yeah, and we just listened to Ariana Grande for the whole thing from the beginning to like this recent album. And he's like, work it, bitch. And you're like, I need that sometimes.
Yeah.
I actually do think that in another life, or possibly this one, I could see myself becoming a spin instructor.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Does it once and is like, this is going to be my
Well,
new
I've
thing.
always thought this for years. I love
Really?
spin. I love spin classes. This is just my first Soul Cycle class. I actually do think that like maybe if my career ever slows down, I'll become like a spin class instructor.
Yeah.
I think that'd be nice. I don't think they make a ton of money, but I think
But also, if you make your money, that's kind of like the beauty of like finding your success early in life, like such big success too, is then at the end you can kind of do whatever you want.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I want to do a bunch of movies and then in my 60s become a spin class instructor.
Is that what you kind of see for your trajectory? Is you want to get into film and acting?
Yeah, I mean, like, of course. Who doesn't? Well, I guess a lot of people don't.
Some people are just like straight up stand up.
Yeah, I don't think that's sustainable.
I don't think it is either.
I actually, if you can name me, the only people I know who are just doing stand-up comedy and nothing else are like a couple of New York guys, but almost, and it's like Sam and Mark and like Dave Attell.
And even they're like young
Yeah.
in retrospect.
But even now, you're like, yeah, they,
even Dave Attell had done like side gigs in acting. I guess he never spearheaded his
Yeah.
own thing, but he would do like
he did
the
Amy
bumping mics.
Schumer's.
He did that, but even like he had his own like shows at the Comedy Cellar
Yeah.
that he was like in charge of and leading, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I just don't think it's sustainable to just do stand-up comedy. And also, now that I've been touring for a while, I don't want to spend the rest of my life on tour. Touring's hard.
Yeah.
It's like brutal.
It's also so like
It's amazing, and I'm so grateful. And please come see me live. But it's
but it
brutal.
is hard. But also it's good for your fans to know that
Yeah.
because that makes them also be more appreciative of when they see you 2 hours outside of Milwaukee or wherever else. It's like, yeah, no, he's
Yeah.
here and this is hard on him. you know?
Yeah, they don't have to think that. It's not that hard. It really is a dream come true. You know what I mean? Like, they don't have to think it's hard, but it's like, I can know it's hard.
Yeah.
But because you really do, like, when you start talking to people and you're like, oh my God, like, people drive so far to come see you live. Like, if people like you online, they will drive.
Yeah.
Like, I had a girl be like, I drove 4 hours to be here. And you're like, that's crazy. You have to drive home tonight. And you just saw my show, talk for an hour, and then you leave. That's nuts.
Yeah.
So it's like, they don't need to feel anything about it. I'll take it. It's not that hard.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Yeah, it's hard, but you don't want to be like, it's really hard.
But woe is me.
Yeah. It's better than any job in the entire world. So it's like, what are you complaining about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's just still an element of work there.
I am on a plane every 3 days.
Yeah, it is brutal.
Yeah. But I kind of love the plane.
I don't, it's almost the preparing. And I think part of this is also like being a woman, like of like getting all of like my toiletries together, my makeup bag, like all of the things. And so like packing in itself is is a process.
Yeah.
And then the traveling is a process. So it's not like I just like, that's even too, like when it comes to like going out to like spots or whatever, it's like, I'm doing my makeup, I'm getting, this is not just like where some guys, like I watch like Spencer, he's like, oh, I got a spot. He changes his shirt and leaves. I'm like, no, I need an hour for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was I going to say though about being, like different career paths though, where it's like, I also think too, it's like, there's always some things in life that happen. Like I had a really big loss earlier in the year with my sister passing, and I couldn't do stand up for like weeks.
Yeah. Of course.
Even now I'm traveling back and forth to St. Louis, and my life has just changed over this past year of like what I'm able to give my time and attention to.
Yeah.
And what I should be and what I want to be. That being said though, is like, we don't know what's in store for us in life. Like if something comes up, if you break your fucking leg or something and you can't go on the road or whatever, I don't know. But it's like, we don't know. There needs to be other things that you can put your attention to.
You'd see my fat ass hobbling in the airport.
I guess, but breaking your leg wasn't the best example.
Yeah. No, but 100%.
You know what I'm saying though?
Yes.
Like if your health becomes an issue or if something happens, or, like we've heard in like the history of comedy where there's lulls in the industry.
By the way, this career, that's the other thing that you have to learn. It is like this. It is up and down. It is not like, it's crazy.
Yeah, we're in a hot spot for comedy right now, and that very well.
I feel like it's dying.
Yeah, it's already,
Yeah.
But being able to kind of adapt to that. So it's like if things slow down, what are you doing? Are you writing? Are you producing? Are you creating? Where are you putting your time?
Well, then you talk to anybody in LA who's been writing on TV. They're like, they're not making TV shows anymore. All the writers are out of work.
Yeah.
And so you're kind of like, well, that's why you're lucky we have stand up right now, But you really don't know. It is unpredictable.
Yeah. So having as many things as you can to fill up a bucket that's lacking, I think is important.
Oh my God, of course. And also I think grief just changes everything about your life.
Yeah.
There's just no way to not look at things differently after a big loss, especially with a primary family member. It's just a completely different experience.
Yeah.
There's
been a lot of things I was going through then, now. That's kind of like also what led me to like the wanting to be present here, and in Austin, because I had so much kind of chaos going on where I have to leave so much. And I'm like, it just kind of made me value, there's certain things in my life. For example, like you talking about the soul being a cycle instructor.
Yeah.
What is the phrasing?
Spin instructor?
Spin instructor.
Yeah.
Where you're like, oh, I want to do that at the end of my life.
Yeah.
Now, this isn't a perfect example, but I had certain things in my own life that I was waiting to do it after my career was finished.
Oh, yeah.
And then you kind of go through a lost life like that. That reminds you that life is short. And I'm in the process of moving those things that I was putting at the end of my career and the end of my life up to the beginning. Because I'm like, why am I waiting years to go do the thing I really want to do now?
Yeah.
No,
of course.
So it's really kind of opened my eyes on reprioritizing what is important to me now.
Yeah.
And I'm going through that process. It's been I mean, it's also crazy. Like sometimes I stop and think, I'm like, oh my God, that was only like 4 months ago.
Yeah. No. Well, time is just different after you lose somebody like that. It's just not the same.
Yeah.
I mean, like that. I mean, I lost my sister when I was 13, and so I was like still pretty young and like in school and stuff. But what it did for me was like my sister died, and then 3 months later, a good friend of mine committed suicide, and who was in my grade. And so to me, I kind of, and this is like a gift in some ways, because my parents weren't very like, my parents were never like, you got to go to college. They were like, do whatever you want. But having these people die so early, it was kind of like, I get to do whatever the fuck I want, and it like doesn't matter. And part of that was like negative, where I like went to school and I was like, well, I'm not gonna do the homework because who gives a shit? Like people die. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you want me to do the homework? My sister's dead. Like whatever. And maybe that's a little like, oh, well, still do the homework, but I just didn't. And then after high school, it was like, well, I guess that's why I started doing stand-up at 21. Because
Yeah.
it was like, well, who cares?
Yeah.
Everything becomes like, well, I don't care what other people think, or I don't care what, I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I want to do. So I think that happens a lot after someone dies close to you.
Yeah, where you kind of just start reevaluating what's the most important thing to you. Because we were talking about like having kids earlier. You know, my sister passed and she left 3 boys, 2, 5, and 7. It's like, in my like, if I have kids, it's gonna be down the line now. I go home now every 4 to 6 weeks minimum just to go see them and spend a weekend with them. It's like that's my priority. And then on top of that, I have a ton of other nieces and nephews who I want to give my attention to.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, it just like really makes you kind of like look at life differently for sure. And what's important and just like how you're living it and being grateful in the moment and knowing what you have in the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm like, even just like spending, I know it's like a loss, but just like being so far removed from like everything for 6 weeks, I was like, oh my God, I don't want to be unhappy anymore. I don't want to be like stressed out. I just want to have like a good time. Like we're living, Austin's so cool.
Yeah.
We're having a good time. It's like, just have fun.
Yeah. Go out to eat.
Yeah, literally.
You
Well,
know?
I don't need that. I already go out to eat way too much.
Yeah.
I love it.
Well, like go out to eat, go to the Soul Cycle class, go to the game night.
Like,
just like
see
start saying yes.
See the movie in the theaters. You know,
Yeah.
that's like, go do something. Don't just sit at home. And and it's a luxury too, because some people are working constantly, but it's like, I don't have a day job.
Yeah.
So I can do that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely been like an eventful ride, but it makes you again, just appreciate all the people around you. And also just even too, like,
after your sister passed, did you feel kind of like, I don't give a fuck about stand up?
I never was in a moment where I said I didn't care about stand up, but I did, one of the resources I called was actually Chappelle Lacey.
Yeah.
He lost his brother and he actually quit stand up for a couple of years. So
I could see that, me doing that. Yeah.
Yeah. He lost his brother and then he quit and then he came back. And so I called him. He's a very good friend of mine. He's the first person to ever bring me on the road. Like I love Chappelle. He's an incredible person. And so I called him and we had like a really big talk about it. Cause I was like, it felt, I don't know the right word for it, for lack of a better, like silly to go try to be funny.
Yeah.
When life felt so overwhelming and confusing and all of the other emotions I was going through that I was like, how am I going to go on stage and then like,
pretend,
make a joke?
Yeah.
It also kind of evolved my comedy. Like I've already been evolving my comedy, but it's like, those jokes that you have from earlier in your career that isn't really you anymore, but you're doing because sometimes they work or they'll just pop into your head or whatever else.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm not like doing those anymore.
Yeah.
Like I don't relate to it. I don't want to talk about it. It feels stupid to do now.
Yeah.
And so it kind of made me relook at my material. And then in a business sense, I'm just not mentioning it specifically just because I don't have it all figured out full over. I'm in the process, but I've been working really hard on something over the last couple of months. And it's like it led me into that too.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, I'm just going to start acting on what I want right now. And that has also, in a way, I told myself, I'm like, I'm not going to obviously quit doing stand-up, but I'm going to make where I was accepting every single spot always. And I get up like 10 to 15 times a week. And so now I was like, I'm okay with doing 5 to 10. Just like, don't overwhelm yourself. Don't break yourself anymore, you know?
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
My problem with stand-up is that like anytime I'm going through something, I'm like, well, I guess I'm abandoning my material and being like, if I literally be on stage and be like, well, my boyfriend broke up with me today. Like, I can't let it go. I wish. I feel like it's so hard to fake it on stage when you're like going through shit.
Well, my therapist encouraged me to talk about it on stage.
Yeah.
And, depending on how literally you take or what he exactly meant by it, but like, and my interpretation of that was more of just don't be afraid. I was afraid to talk about it because I was like, I don't want to, on a showcase lineup where they're not here to see me, I didn't want to throw off the vibe by talking about something really darker,
Oh,
sadder.
throw off the vibe.
Yeah, and so that was where
Throw
my
off the vibe. I
Oh.
love it. I love when people are going up and like, bam, it's the hot show. Someone walks up, they're like, my sister's dead. I'm like, okay, well, let's turn gears. I love it.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love that shit.
Yeah, so
That's me. If my sister died now, I would be on stage being like,
yeah.
I couldn't help myself.
I worked out I had to get over the fear, and then ultimately it was just that, like, I didn't want to force it, so I did it, but then
Yeah.
I was like, this'll pause. You know, I can bring this back whenever.
Yeah.
But like, you know, it's funny because even like comedy was a source of attention relief when we were like going through everything. Like, we had to go and pick out the outfit that she was gonna wear in the casket.
Oh yeah.
And my mom growing up, like she's notoriously, especially with my older siblings, was really strict and would like check to make sure they were wearing their underwear before leaving the house and all stuff
Oh,
like
that's
that.
crazy.
I know. And so when we're picking out her outfit, I was like, so should we put like underwear, socks, everything? They're like, no, nobody's gonna see it. And I'm like, okay, well, we're not setting her up to meet God without underwear on. Like, you know, like
That,
we're
by the way,
gonna
that's hilarious.
yeah, like and that like also like made her husband laugh really hard. And like
Yeah.
that was the thing like he kept on bringing up to people. And so it
Yeah.
was like comedy was even like a thing where it was like you kind of clung to those
The hardest you'll ever
moments.
laugh is in the darkest times of your life.
Yeah.
And if you can, and that's when I think comedy becomes a whole thing where people get offended by certain jokes when it's close to that, and you just go like, you don't process your feelings through funny. Like it's like to
Mhm.
me, if something really dark is happening, like if someone's dead, like it's like I have to be making jokes. It's the only way I can get over something. I mean, even
Yeah.
with my sister, like my sister died when I was 13. And I bottled that up so tightly, which is probably why I gained all the weight in the
Mhm.
first place. And then through stand up and making jokes, even like 10 years later after she died, that's when I really processed my sister's death. It
Mhm.
was like on stage.
I definitely, and I can recognize this happening in real time. I know I'm not processing it to the
Yeah.
fullest capacity just because,
You also don't have to. Like it's so soon.
yeah, and like, I mean, I know the holidays will be really hard and stuff like I've got plenty of times. We haven't even had her first birthday after
Of
it, you
course.
know?
I mean, and also it's like it is this like bracing of like that also goes away. You know,
Mhm.
not as much like, but like it's like yeah, every year I have like 2 days where it's like my sister's birthday and like her death anniversary where it's like yeah, it's like there's really no getting around it. It's like you get to that day and you're like it's here, but
Yeah.
it's not always gonna be like oh my god, I'm gonna be so emotional on that day. I mean, they say like grief finds you in the middle of the street on a sunny day.
Mhm.
Like it's like you don't. It's just it will be all consuming in the craziest moments.
Well, and I still feel like, well, I still feel like I get messages from her. Like the other
Oh yeah.
day, I opened up my Facebook and I must have like put it down and it was like working while I was walking or something. And then I picked it up and I'm watching because Laugh Hire's been really growing and it kind of had a moment where it was just like shooting up. And I look at my phone and it's just a message from her that I had never opened that said, "Damn girl."
Oh
And I was like,
whoa.
"Oh, that was her." I'm like
Yeah,
gonna
of
get
course. That's
emotional,
yeah,
you
of
know?
course.
But that was her being like, I felt like she was like right there,
Yeah, of
you know?
course. Yeah.
And so, ooh,
It's tough. It's tough.
mhm.
There's nothing wrong. I mean, it's your sister.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, because it actually was all crazy. I mean, that whole span of time. So she passed on March 15th, but on March 1st, I lost my grandma. And so I went back to St. Louis to go through that funeral process. And then because of that, I actually got to see my sister one more time. And then she passed. And so like it was just a lot of death
Yeah.
at once, you know? So I didn't even really get to process my grandma's death. I'm still going through my sister's, but she has 3 boys. So it's like
It's a whole other thing.
and then I have, you know, a big family, so then I'm dealing with like so many other people's emotions that aren't just mine. And then I'm also trying to like care for these kids now.
Yeah.
But so all that to be said is like, yeah, my processing I think will happen not, over the span of
I would say
time, you
if you
know?
can, don't try not to push it down to help other people through it. Like you have
Mhm.
just as much of a right to go through it right now as all of them do as well.
Yeah.
Because that was something that happened with my sister. Like it was like part of the reason, not to make it about me, but just to clear, but
No,
like
it's yeah.
my sister, like I couldn't, we weren't really allowed to grieve my sister because my parents were grieving my sister, so we had to be really good about it. So
Mhm.
like, but my friend who committed suicide 3 months later, like I was really able to grieve that because it felt like mine, but like I had to be because of my family not pick that up, and it doesn't go away. So that I'm
Yeah.
just saying like I would also do it whenever you feel comfortable, but sooner the better. You can't run away from it.
Yeah, I got to really. I did a bulk of
By the way, and not to
grieving.
be disrespectful, it was also a hard weekend because Spencer could no longer feature for me.
Oh my God!
And I had to use one of the in Raleigh, North Carolina.
So Spencer was supposed to go his first road weekend with Dylan and couldn't come because he had to go to the funeral. There's also, it would be like a moment in an episode when I found out that she passed. Him and I had just gone to the grocery store and picked up a bunch of food, and we were about to make burgers. We were like both so hungry. It's like 9 p.m. We hadn't eaten yet, 9:30. And then I get this call that's obviously devastating.
Yeah.
Everything food-wise just dropped. But now it's like 1 a.m. He's like,
I'm hungry.
it's like, yeah.
Yeah. You're like, I guess let's make hamburgers at 2 o'clock in the morning. Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, when going through all that though, like, she had made me, because she had cystic fibrosis.
Yeah.
And so she, did a lot of things to plan ahead. So she had made me her power of attorney.
Oh, wow.
So if anything were to happen and it would have been a more drawn out process. And if I had to, I'd made a call, like if her husband couldn't or whatever else. But so I felt very honored to have that role. And her husband leaned on me a lot. So I helped him plan the memorial, but then also the celebration of life. And then I also had to go through her phone. So I had to go through the last 5 years of my sister's photos through her eyes to collect pictures for the funeral and for the celebration of life. So I'd be up all day doing all of these other things. And then from like 1 to 3 in the morning, every single night, I was going through her phone. And
I'm sorry, I'm just having anxiety about like dying and like my brother seeing like a million pictures of my cock. I have so many pictures of my cock on my phone.
Yeah, you're gonna have to go clean that up.
Yeah, like who's gonna clean that up? Like, and by the way, there's no like cock folder. It's like it really is like all over the place. Like it'll be like cock. Oh, tour poster. Oh, picture of me with my family. Cock. Like it really is so many that it's like I can't. Now I'm stressed.
Yeah, you're gonna have to look into that
later.
Yeah. There's gonna be eyes on that.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I actually did a lot of like the intense grieving then because I mean that's like
that's cute. It's gonna happen more.
Yeah. But that was my first like load though. Like
of course,
I didn't just shove it down to like get through it. I would have those moments, but it was like me in the middle of the night, because I had to unpack it. Chisel away at it that way.
Of course.
Yeah. But it was like, honestly too, we talk about community and we've talked about friendship, so far. And I had so many people reach out to me in my life in general, but also specifically from the comedy community.
Yeah.
Ben Gordon showed up to my house on a bike with 4 cards that were signed by all of our friends.
By the way, I believe he let you know that I'm not signed on those cards because he did them before I got back from the road. And I think he said I have to let Bianca know.
He did tell me. He did tell me. I still blame you, but he did tell me.
I texted you immediately. I texted you the next day.
But like that, even that was like so like.
Of course.
You showed up with like flowers and cards, and I was like it felt very warm to just like have people like check. Like I'm like, this is my family.
You forget that we doing comedy is a community.
Yeah.
I talk about this with my friends who don't do comedy all the time because they always go like, well, you move across because I've moved across the country to cities I don't know multiple times. And like when you do this and you're so brave and you're like, it's not the same because you can go into a community of comedy and you have people who like the same thing as you do and they do become your family. And also comedians, we all have had bad stuff happen to us. Like everyone who's here is fucked up. Everyone here has dead people in their lives or whatever, or like molested to an inch of their life. And so it's like, when something bad happens, they're like, you reach out.
Yeah. And it really also put in perspective for me of like, like when sometimes somebody has something going on and you're like, oh, I don't want to bother them right now. And I'm like, bother them.
Oh,
Don't have the expectation for them to respond. That would be where you're in the wrong, is if you're like, well, they never text me back. It's like, no, it's not. But say you're thinking of them. Put it out there because like I had so many messages come in that I wasn't getting to, but getting those messages made me feel very loved in a time that I like needed love.
Of course.
And I said, comedy's my family. These are my family. I have a very strong family, but then knowing that there's people here that are like, oh, these are like deep relationships in my life. Like I even thought that last night when we were doing our game night and I'm looking around the table at all of us eating and I'm like, oh, this is special.
Yeah.
These are like friendships that I've been building now over the course of years that mean a lot to me. These people mean a lot to me.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I always remember my mom saying, people always remember who didn't come to the funeral. And
Mhm.
so it's like, it's basically what you're just saying, which is like, if someone's going through something or someone's dying, it's like, they're never going to be like, why the fuck did this person text me and say, sorry, your mom died? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're never going to think that. They're always just going to be like, wow, thank you so much for reaching out.
Yeah.
And so it's like, whenever something happens, just reach out. It's actually easy. And when people are like, I don't know what to say, it's like, just say you're so sorry and that you love them. That's all you have to say.
Mhm.
And then boom. But a lot of people, I think they're scared. A lot of people haven't dealt with death. So a lot of people are very nervous about how to go about it. And I
Mhm.
always just say something. It also makes it more awkward to like not say anything.
Yeah.
You know, because then you are gonna run into Bianca. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So it's like, just say it now.
Yeah.
So it's not awkward.
And I would even get like, cause like Spencer was here while I was gone, and I would even get like feedback through him of like people checking in and
Oh, yeah.
whatever else. And he would just kind of communicate the same thing. He's like, reach out to her.
Yeah.
She might not respond to you. She might. I texted you when you were going through your surgery process, just being like, hey, thinking of you.
Yeah.
And there was a moment where I was like, oh, I'm catching him on the last week. Should I even send it? And I was like, no, just,
Yeah. Who cares?
yeah, tell me your thing about him.
Yeah.
You know?
It's great.
And even like,
I was so high on edibles every single day. I was like, what's happening?
thinking about you a lot.
Yeah. I was like, amazing.
I've not thought about you at all, but now I'll think about you.
I will say the hardest part about my recovery was that I was like so high and I was like listening to Olivia Rodrigo's new album like nonstop. And I was just like, I just want to fall in love outside of this house.
Outside of this house.
Yeah, I was like, I gotta leave this house. I want to listen to this album in New York City.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted.
Did it make you like inspired to do anything new that I guess you just went to a soul cycle class, but like anything that you're like, oh, I want to start cooking more or anything?
No, I mean, I want to start putting myself out there dating wise. I want to start because a huge part of the reason why I was having a lot of sex off of like Grindr was because you send pictures before you meet up with somebody. So I could always send a picture of my chest and would prior to meeting up with someone, and 9 out of 10 times they're blocking you, and you're like, that's great, but it took the comfort away of like, if they are into it, you already know before you even get over there. And I think it was like a safety barrier for me. And so it's like, that's why I deleted all the apps after my surgery. Cause I was like, my biggest insecurity's been cut off now. Like I would never, if I was out or a guy came up to me in public and was like, hey, like what's going on? I just want to come over and say hi. I'd be like, oh, I have to go. Like I would never go home with them. Cause in my mind, I'd be like, they don't know about my chest. And
You're setting yourself up for rejection.
Exactly. And I was like, and I just don't want to do that. And so I just wouldn't do it. And I was just like, I just want to put myself out there with like, now that I like my chest, then I'm like, who cares?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's also now like, this is where you are able to kind of explore yourself and being comfortable with yourself.
Yeah.
That is going to open up a whole new door of like, probably over the course of like the next year or however long it takes, of being like, ooh, I didn't realize I was suppressing that because that was an insecurity.
You know what's funny? I do know I was suppressing it. I mean, my chest is something, it was all I thought about. I mean, I probably thought about it 100 times a day.
Yeah.
Which is like whether it was walking down the street and the wind hit my chest and my shirt pulled back and I knew that you could see my chest in my shirt, or I'm on stage, or I'm meeting up with guy, or what, I'm at a workout class. It's like, it's all I would think about. And I was like, yeah, I was like, I gotta, and now it's funny because now that it's cut off, I'm just like, could not give a shit. Like even I walked in here, I was like, oh, I'll take my fucking shirt. Well, you know, I don't care at all. I took my shirt off at the meet and greet line the other day because the girls listened to my podcast and they're like, can we see your chest? And I was like, yeah. It's like the insecurity is completely gone.
Yeah.
And that is what I'm really excited about.
Yeah.
Because it's been weighing on me.
Yeah. I'm glad. I'm very happy to hear that you have that freedom now.
Yeah.
It's funny because even being in a relationship, this is obviously very, different, but it's similar in the sense of like the freedom that you can get. Being in a relationship for now 2 years though, like
have you and Spencer been together for 2 years? I don't know if you would feel freedom. Spencer does seem like if you gained weight, maybe he'd break up with you.
Yeah, but this is the good thing with me. If you met my dad and my family, you'd be like, oh, she'll never gain weight.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He actually has told me, he goes, I like that I can call you a pig and it doesn't hurt your feelings.
Wait, why?
Because I know, like, I get skinny fat.
Yeah.
But so, like, I eat a lot. I will eat the same amount of food as he does.
I love that.
And he'll be like, oh, my, you're like a little pig.
Yeah.
But I'm not like an insecure girl, so I'm not like, wow.
Yeah.
You just commented on my weight? That's rude. He's
Of
like,
course.
I like that I can speak freely and give you shit and it doesn't tap on something that you're like insecure of.
Yeah.
But being in the relationship too, it's like, there's certain things about like, even like hair. I've gotten shorter and shorter. I've gotten bad haircuts since I started getting my hair shorter. And I'm like, well, I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
You know, I've got somebody that like loves me. I love myself.
Yeah.
I don't care. I have no ego around my hair or posting a clip that doesn't do well or anything that might have like tugged at what people might think of me outside of my own home and my own, or even what I think about myself. My ego around so much is just fallen.
Of
you know?
course. I think, oh, of course. Yeah. I did have a feeling that something that Spencer told me that made me laugh about his childhood, I felt after I had my surgery, which is, Spencer, I'm sure he told you this, but he was in the back of the seat of his car with his mom and he had his braces on and he was looking in the mirror and he goes, oh, once I get my braces off, I'm going to be perfect. And his mom turned around and slapped him across the face. And I thought about that. Like, now that I have my chest down, I'm like Spencer, I'm perfect.
It's a me without braces.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if I have. It's funny because like I'm the only girl in my family without a boob job.
Oh, hilarious.
Yeah, the only one. And I have no desire to go get my tits done.
And your mom has a boob job?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And,
Okay,
and let me
good.
also tell you this: I'm the tallest girl in my family.
Really?
So all my sisters are like itty bitty. My sister Natalie maybe weighs like 95 pounds.
Did your sister who passed have a boob job?
Yeah. So they're just these little things with these big old knockers.
Yeah.
And then there's me. And so they were all giving me shit the other day. The last time I was in town, they were giving me shit about not having a boob job. And I'm like, listen, I'm not saying I'll never not have one.
Yeah.
You know, these
Would you
things-
get one?
Yeah, but like in 10 years from now, if
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm just unhappy with the way that they look and I would rather whatever. But I'm like, I have no plan on getting one. And I actually don't know where I was going with this.
I'll say this with the boob jobs is like girls, they're always like, I'm getting a boob job. I'm like, don't you have to get it fixed like every 10 years?
Yeah, and here's the other thing about boob jobs. So you're putting this foreign thing inside your body that
They
your
can
body
explode.
well, also that your body starts rejecting. I know girls that have gotten like migraines and
Oh,
like
yeah.
those things, the implants, they can grow mold. They can collect like films on them that are really toxic.
I think,
to your
isn't the
body.
mold inside though?
You can get inside, but it can also like from eating things like chicken, you can get like films on the outside of the
Yeah.
implants that can be like really toxic for your body.
Also, I've heard girls say who've gotten them. Like I remember Kalila from the Trash Tuesday podcast. She said that she got them and she woke up from surgery and immediately was like, "This was a huge mistake." Like just having a foreign object in your body protruding like that. Like she's like, "I don't feel like I'm in my body," and she had them like removed pretty quickly.
That's the thing is, I just don't really have any desire
Yeah.
to like.
Surgery sucks to recover from.
And I'm one of those people in general. I don't really like fake things. Like
Yeah.
it, like even like clothing, whatever. Like I'm like, oh, it just has like a weird energy to it. So I'm not even hating on boob jobs. I'm not even saying I would not get one. Where I'm at in my life right now, I don't need that to feel whole, you know?
Yeah.
But I do think I've kind of come on this, stumbled on this theory recently where I do think
How
that.
pissed would you be if you got a boob job and then all of a sudden like all of your dreams came true?
Ah.
Like it's like that's actually what's been holding you back in your career is that you don't have a boob job.
I just don't have enough tits.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I will say this in terms of career. When I did my quickest and fastest growth online, it was when I had my long hair and I was hot and I was single and I was like doing.
Yeah.
Now that I've kind of like got a boyfriend, I mean, the growth is a lot slower because it's just like, you know.
But that's good. You don't want that's men following you.
I had a very male, and now I'm
Yeah.
like, I'll lose people and I'll gain people and it's whatever.
Also, like you just don't want to be a girl with a large male following because they don't support you in your careers.
I would love to have
They stalk you.
a female following.
It's a dream.
I-
It's a
I-
dream come true.
I would love. Oh God, if
The
you
girls
were
come to
Matt
my
Rife,
shows-
would take me under your wing and I
Um,
could just be indulged by
Dude.
the women. I want more women. It's so hard to find as a female comic. I feel like you attract so many men. I love the men too. If you're watching this and you're a man, I love you too.
I mean, I made a real effort to, because from Some of This Is Bad to like, because we were really focusing on like gay guy fans,
Mhm.
and I found that they were a little. I love some of them, but they were. I mean, of the Some of This Is Bad fans, they were a little more fickle. Like they would they would listen, but they wouldn't come to the shows.
Mhm.
And you're like, okay, well, then I'm buying tickets. And so I moved all the way, because I've been friends with women my entire life. I was like, well, women love me. Like, no
Yeah.
matter where I go, women like me. And so it's like, I'm going to direct all my attention towards women and all of my jokes or whatever, and like bring women in on every single one of my jokes.
Mhm.
And that is what you have to kind of open the door to the women. You know what I mean? You can't just be like, I want the women. You kind of have to be like, well, what would women, if a woman heard this, what would she think?
Yeah. Which honestly, this podcast has been really great for because It's a way for me to talk about things that I think or that I feel or whatever else and then clip it up into segments and put it out there and you can get a little bit more of me. And I've been trying to do a little bit more with like cooking and gardening and stuff like that. I actually took the username low key trad
Oh,
because
yeah.
that's kind of like I am very low key traditional. I'll smoke weed while I'm doing it, but I'm also baking oatmeal cookies for my friends.
Yeah, yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like I have that like trad energy, but it's just mixed into whatever the current way is. So there's things that I would even like to lean in more as I develop myself in this career. But there's also a lot of things like I'm trying to build Laugh Higher and all of these other things. But I kind of see it as have you ever seen the documentary Lorne
No, is that
about
about Lauren
Lorne
Michaels?
Michaels from SNL? So it's interesting to watch him because he started SNL or was invited into it. I forget. But then he left it for like 5 years and then came back to it. And that was a really great perspective of we try to do everything right now when the reality is we have plenty of times to do things.
Yeah.
So what I've even decided in my own regard is like I'm prioritizing Laugh Higher because that's like where like a long-term career branch out that I can use to uplift a lot of people around me and also myself.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm going to continue to build me, but also like I can kind of get back to that once I've got this other foundation in order, you know?
Yeah.
And so then I can explore more things like that low key trad and different things where I'm like, oh, do I want to cook? How do I want to reach out and meet this fan base, you know?
Yeah.
But then I'm just piling through. But I love women.
Yeah.
I'm a girl's girl.
It really is the
it's-
best. The best thing that's ever happened to me was having a large. I mean, my Instagram is 93% women.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it really and they're so great and they're so kind.
Yeah.
And I had to go right back on the road. Like did my surgery and then I didn't even come home. I went right to JFL and then I went right to my weekend in San Francisco and then I came home. And like these girls, they listen to your podcast. They're in the meet and greet line. They're like, "How are you feeling after your surgery?" You know, they're sending like tips on how to heal it. Like they're so kind to me.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And yeah, I feel very grateful and every club I go to, they're like, "We love the people that come to see you."
Because women that are like evolving in their own lives, like true, like people like girl almost sounds weird to say, but it's like they like genuinely care for like their friends.
These girls are cool. I always am like, I think whenever I meet them after the shows, I'm like, yeah, they're like, I wish we could be friends. I'm like, I'm sure if I lived in this city and we both worked at the same job, we would be friends.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're not because you're meeting me in a meet and greet line. But like, if I lived here, we would be friends, I'm sure. If we like were coworkers, no, yeah, I'm sure we'd be eating dinner together, be having a good time. It's like, yeah, you guys are cool. I just don't live here and there's a blanket.
It is. I think that's like the biggest thing too is like, you know, because even you, it's like if this is who Dylan Carlino is, I always kind of think of like the brain bubbles that we used to make in like writing class, you know? If this is Dylan Carlino, there's all of these different pockets that make you, and you've done a really good job of like tapping into those different pockets and then finding these people where it's like, yeah, if I could have my ideal friend, it would be somebody that likes all of the same things I do, and I found that in you. You know?
Yeah.
And so it's like you find the people that I think like when fans really like find somebody in entertainment that they latch on to, it's like, yeah, because I want to be this person's friend. That's why Shane Gillis is so huge.
Yeah.
People want to drink a beer with Shane, you know?
Literally, the only thing that matters is like, do people want to hang out with you?
Yeah.
And whenever I come off stage and girls are like, I want to be your best friend, I'm like, then I did my job right.
Yeah.
It should feel that way.
Yeah, I should feel like your friend and that you know me.
Yeah.
Is that ever a boundary that gets crossed, though? Is people feeling like they're too much of your friend?
No, I mean, people say crazy stuff, but you're like, I don't care. I love it.
Yeah, you're like, I like the drama.
Not even the drama, but like people coming up to you, you're like, yeah, or sometimes someone will message you and be like, I saw you on the subway. I was too scared to come up. I'm like, come up. I'm like, please, I want to chat. I like talking to you.
I haven't done so many days. I'm alone.
Literally, come talk to me. I'm chilling. I'm like at the airport chatting with girls. They're like, I have to get my flight. I go, oh yeah, go. You know what I mean? Like they have to get away from me.
Yeah. Have you ever, oh my God, what is his name? Robert Pattinson. Have you ever heard the story? Yeah, about when he had that stalker and then he took her out to dinner and she never bugged him again.
Yeah.
He just talked about 4 hours
They
of his
say
own
that
life.
with stalkers a lot. I remember Whitney Cummings talked about how like the police were like, will you just answer his phone call? He'll never call you again. And she answered and he never called her again.
Yeah, because it's like the chase.
Yeah. It's all about the chase.
Yeah.
Even our stalkers are love bombing us.
Yeah, right?
It's not even real.
Is there even pure love?
Yeah. Your stalker doesn't even love you. They don't even want you.
Yeah. It's funny too, because it's like I've always said that like the scariest thing you could have as a stalker that's good at their job because you would never know that they're there.
I know.
You know?
Well, in comics, we're like, and this is exactly where I'm gonna be, and actually, the ticket's only $20 to see me.
Yeah.
It's like such a low threshold to like get there.
Yeah. If you just tune in, you could find literally anyone.
Yeah.
It's so funny because I talked a lot about like my family, and I have all these nieces and nephews, and I don't post any of them online just because people are creeps and who knows.
Oh, I would never post my nephews ever.
But I'm like, they're so fucking cute that I want to, but I'm like, I can't.
I know.
Cause
I honestly will like, if my mom like tags me in a picture with my nephews, I will untag myself.
Yeah.
Just because I don't even want it near my profile, just because I know people are such fucking disgusting freaks. And even if my page is mostly women, I don't even want to risk it.
Yeah. Yeah, because also too, I feel like people get
because my nephews, they're out in the yard, they're hanging out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, they don't need to know where anything is.
And like I even have like some funny videos of me and my nieces and nephews that I've like debated posting. I've got one from the holidays that I've already posted that is just out there now.
I don't love seeing kids on the internet, even if the video is funny. I'll scroll up and I try not to interact with it because I'm like, I just don't think it's good to have your kids on the internet.
Yeah, I agree. It's like a boundary. It's even something like I've had to break down with like my sisters too, because there's also with the rate that technology is developing, it's like, yeah, you could plug a photo of a kid that's fully dressed on the internet and somebody could do whatever they want with that.
Yeah.
They could age them and steal their identity. It's just
they could not age them.
Yeah.
It's really sick.
Yeah. So I just don't want to put anybody in my family in that position. But I forgot why we got to that point.
I do too. Oh, well, we have ADHD, I'm sure.
Yeah. We've really gone all about.
Yeah.
I cried.
Yeah, you did cry.
Yeah.
What's in your paper?
I didn't even really need to ask a question.
Yeah, we're chatters.
But also a lot of these things we did bring up naturally. Being in Massachusetts, growing up poor.
My family's so sick of me saying that. My mom literally, we got into a huge fight with her saying that, whatever. And my dad gets so mad. He's like, we weren't poor.
One of these was...
And I have to explain. I go, what about this? He goes, that was at your mother's house. I go, well, it was still my reality.
Well, you know what's funny too of like...
It's crazy.
Growing up, because I grew up, it was interesting. So my parents were together. They got divorced when I was 8. And then my mom was... the divorce just cost a lot of money from both ends. And my mom, though, got the house in the... we were middle class.
Yeah.
And then my mom got the house in the middle class neighborhood, but then was poor.
Yeah.
So we were poor in a middle class neighborhood. And when I say poor, I'm like, church was helping us with our bills. We were getting food from the food banks. But I had a lot of rich friends because we got to keep the house, but it didn't match the lifestyle.
We also had a nice house, but it's funny because my mom's family has money, and so they have all these beautiful $1 million homes on the Cape. So it's yes, every summer we vacationed on the Cape in $1 million home for the most beautiful week ever, and then you come home and your electricity's turned off for a month. You know, you're showering at friends' houses. You know, and you're kind of and then you're like, we weren't poor, and I'm like, our electricity was out.
So it's so funny. When I was just home last week my mom got a bunch of stuff from her ex-boyfriend. They broke up years ago. We sold some stuff in the basement. We had to get it moved over. I went through a lot of things and I found, I'm not kidding you, Dylan, at least 4 different examples of my old schoolwork where it was if I were president of the day, I would slash gas prices.
Yeah.
I was talking about money insecurity in elementary school. It was coming out in all my work because it was such a stressor in the home. And
I was working at 14, giving people money. You know what I mean? And you're it just is what it is.
I remember feeling so ashamed of that growing up, so embarrassed by it. And then I got older, and it's now everybody wants the come up story.
Yeah.
So then I have so many friends that are looking for hardship in their lives, and I'm like, wait, when did this become a cool thing?
Oh,
when
please.
I was
the
younger,
rich kids, the kids who grew up poor, or the kids who grew up rich who love to pretend they grew up poor for the story. I cannot stand. I like rich people who are I grew up rich.
Well, because the other thing too is it's don't we all want to have a life, if you do choose to have kids, you want to raise your kids in a nice childhood. It's we should be accepting of having a good childhood is okay. I feel like people don't think that they have to make their childhood sound awful. And
I think that people who grew up wealthy think that they don't want to talk about it because they think that I don't want you to think that I had this incredible life. And it's I don't think that. Like every time you say you're rich, I think like, okay, your parents are distant. Like you have a really horrific home life. There was no emotional love in your home, but you had all the money. I
Yeah.
never said I think your life is good. I just said I don't want to hear you complaining about having a day job. Like that is what I'm saying, you know?
And I even like people that had a good life and are like Derek Posen. He he does comedy. A lot of people talk about, oh, comedians. We talked about earlier, it comes from a lot of pain. And he's like, my life was great.
Yeah.
I had a very happy childhood. And I'm like, I like that you're just open about that. That you're like, yeah, life is good.
But I think also two things can be true. I think like life can be hard when you're growing up. And like I look back and I'm like, I had a lot of fun growing up.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm always like, yeah, it was tough, but like I had a lot of good friends. Like we had fun.
It's weird.
I liked my childhood. It just horrific things happened.
I had to go. It was really weird for me because I have 4 older siblings and then a younger brother, and there's a 6-year gap in between me and my older siblings. And so I got a narrative of their childhood while I was growing up
Yeah.
that really overshadowed my childhood. So when I looked back on my life, I remembered a lot of their stories and a lot of them complaining, and they would do it lightly. They would, but
Yeah.
like in humor, where it was like, "Oh, remember mom did this or that," and I mean, granted, there was a lot of very hard things about my childhood. It was not easy growing up, but I also forgot a lot of the good.
Yeah.
And I've really over the last couple of years have been like trying to remember and like think back on a lot of the good that was my childhood. I actually, if I'm being fully honest, I don't remember a lot of my childhood at all. I don't remember nearly anything.
I remember I would say that my life started in 8th grade when it comes to memories, but I have some memories, but I do think that when it comes to your childhood, there becomes a point in your life where you're like, these things did happen, but it is also a story that I'm telling myself.
Yeah.
And so I really have, I think, let go. Like that's like what me and my family fight about the most. Like me and my mom, like she could possibly hear this, which if you're hearing this and you're upset about anything that I said, I did ask you to stop listening to me on podcasts. And she knows that. But I think sometimes this shame comes up when you talk about this kind of stuff and you're like, it's not that I'm making a judgment on any of it. I just am talking about like actual things that happen.
Yeah.
But also I do think like my childhood was also like really magical in a lot of ways. Like I look back and there's so many magical moments and I just don't, even if things were really bad, I have no interest in holding on to this story about like my parents were evil, this bad thing happened. Everyone could have been better but everyone did the best that they could. And I kind of am like, our lives are so great right now. I mean, even in the bad stuff, like you said, like we have this community, we're doing stand-up. Like, it's like a lot of people are working multiple jobs. Their lives suck. It's like, at least this is awesome.
Well, and also too, and I actually, I clocked this. I remember laying in my bed in high school and thinking this, and I would pray. And I would say, I thank you for all of the hard thing that's happened to me because I'm glad it made me the person that I am today.
Yeah.
And for everything that was hard in my childhood, I know the person I am now is because of that. And I'm very thankful for that. It's given me a lot of range. It's made me relate to a lot of people that I might have not related to. It's given me compassion and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
So it's like even the hard things, I'm like, yeah, and I toughed it out.
For sure. I meant to bring this up too because you're talking about your age difference. I have a brother who's 15 years younger than me. And so he's my half brother and my brother, but he's my dad's son. And so he's having a very different experience of my dad than we were because we had 23-year-old dad. He got a 40-year-old dad. So those are two very different men. And so I was explaining, we went out to dinner last time I was home. I brought him to his like restaurant he likes. And we were driving home. I was explaining to him like how I felt about my dad in high school. And he's like, I don't feel that way at all. Dad's my best friend. And I go, let me show you a song to show you, this is how I felt about dad in high school. And I put on Perfect by Simple Plan and he was crying laughing. He's like, you're so dramatic. Like he was making fun of me. He's like, hey dad, look at me. Have you heard that song?
No, but
have you heard the song? Think back and talk to me. Did I grow up according to plan? Yeah. And do you think I'm wasting my time? It's so good. And that's how I was like, that's me and my dad's song.
Yeah.
It's like, sorry, Dad, I'm not perfect.
Well, also,
and my little brother with his broccoli fucking haircut was crying, laughing, being like, you're a loser.
Did it make
and
you like
and Dad's the man. He goes, Dad's the man. I was like, all right.
It makes you though, because I also look at our friends now. So how old are you? You're 30?
32.
32. I'm going to be 30 this year. When my mom was my age, she had 4 kids already.
Yeah, same.
And I look at some of my other friends in my life and I'm like, yeah, to think that these guys should
My 4 kids are over here. I'm like,
Yeah,
You're
raising.
being loud. Daddy's working.
Yeah. But it makes you, as you kind of get older, you're like, yeah, they were just doing the best they can.
Yeah.
And granted, I think I'd do things differently or whatever else, but it's like, yeah, they were just like getting through.
Yeah, or
So-
you see people our age with kids now, and you go, look at them, they're killing it. You have no
Yeah.
idea what they're doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's hard.
Yeah. Having kids is hard.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
That's why I would never do it.
You don't want kids at all?
I have no interest in being a dad. My biggest fear is actually that and I'm sure this will happen to me, that I'm like, meet the love of my life and I'll fall in love with him. And he's like, I need to have kids and we have to break up because of it.
Really?
I will not budge on having kids.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Even like adoptive, foster, any of that?
I would do it something where like if a teen girl came into my life who needed a place and maybe her, well, a couple of years and we can go to the mall and get clothes and I set up for prom. I do her hair for prom.
You know,
Oh my God, that I would do. And then like I pay for her college and then I'm like, yeah, but like, your mom loves you. She just can't be with you right now.
This would almost be a good storyline, a movie that I don't know if it's made yet, but for what you just said, you don't want to have kids.
Yeah.
A man comes into your life, and it was him from his first wife, didn't realize he was gay yet. Now he's got a teenage daughter.
I could do
you
that
have to-
too.
So if you got like a teen daughter.
I could be a stepdad.
Yeah.
That's fine. I don't want a baby. I don't want a toddler. I don't want a little kid. I don't want to go to soccer practices. I can do a teenage girl.
Mm-hmm.
So that's fine. But other than that, no.
I hope you get a teen girl one day in your life.
Me too. It'd be so great. I'd be so good with a teen girl.
I love
I'd be
that.
like, don't treat your mom that way. She's not a bitch. She's a good woman. She's like, wait, she hates you. I go, I know.
Who doesn't?
Who doesn't? Of course. She doesn't even know me.
Envy's a terrible shame.
I go, but I love your mom, even
Mm.
though she hates me.
Did you ever watch the movie Stepmom growing up?
Yeah, it's my favorite movie. Are you joking? I was like, that's like really what gave me empathy.
So the song I sing to all of my nieces and nephews, and I have
Ain't
4
No
years.
Mountain High. Yeah, of
Mhm.
course. It's a
Yeah,
I love that movie. I remember I watched that movie. It really cracked something open to me when I was a kid.
yeah.
I watch it every single year.
That and then he has glasses. He's not wearing his glasses.
That's so funny. I'm doing a joke about that on stage right now that got added in. It's the most disgusting My Girl reference, but I do love My Girl.
Yeah, My Girl was
Yeah.
good too. Another good stepmom.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
2 iconic stepmoms.
2 iconic stepmoms.
Well, Dylan, before we get out of here, is there anything that you want to talk about that like very much interests you, or something that excites you?
I feel like we really covered everything. We can't think of anything that excites me.
Oh,
In my life.
well, we kind of did the Soul Cycle as a new thing. In your life
Yeah.
that's exciting you.
Well,
Anything that you learned recently?
that I've been paying for ClassPass for the last 3 months, and I don't even remember doing it, so I have all these credits.
Mhm.
And actually, you can get massages off ClassPass. And so I'm getting a massage off ClassPass
Ad.
tomorrow.
Oh, I mean, I'm big on massages. I don't
I
go
am-
often. I've actually have a membership for a massage that I have
Where?
Oak Haven,
Okay.
and I never claim them. So now I've got 5 massages I need to claim.
Ugh, the best.
I know, and so Spencer's really been benefiting because I'm like, let's just go to
Yeah, I
a
want to
couple's
get
massage, but he doesn't want to be in the same room, so we're going to different rooms.
I want to get lymphatic drainage for my surgery.
I would really like to.
So
get
that's what I'm getting
lymphatic drainage.
tomorrow.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I had like 100 things on my ClassPass.
Wow. Let me know how that goes.
Yeah, I will. It was great. It's a lot of ClassPass points, but it's great.
But the lymphatic drainage specifically, I've always kind of wanted to do that.
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
Amazing. Well, thanks for having me.
I love you. Thank
Love
you for
you.
doing it.
Of course.
I'm glad you're in town and you're hanging in.
I know. Me
When
too.
do you go back on the road though?
Friday.
Friday, and then are you just doing weeks?
I think I have like the next like 4 weeks. The next like 2 months I'm on the road, and then starting in like October. As of right now, I only have like 2 dates. 1 date in November. We'll see. Part of me was kind of like freaking out about that, and I was like, I messaged my agent and be like, book me to the end of the year, and I was like, well, I just worked every weekend for 9 months. It's like it's fine.
Live life.
Live life.
Also, you don't know
It's the
what
holidays.
there might be something that like
I could have
when
a
that
project coming in. I don't even know.
Yeah, that door might be open right now for a reason.
That's what I mean. I'm trying not to control everything, right? I'm a big control freak. So yeah, I'm just letting it go. Whatever opportunities come, and I'm excited to see what happens. But follow me online, Dylan P. Carlino everywhere.
Yes. Wonderful.
Love you. Bye.